as like the production, I mean, did he come in already with like the beat ready to go and the things chopped up and he just came in and laid the thing down, or was it you know were they laying the foundation of it in the studio in real
Yes, I
time?
mean the beat was already made when they came in. Um, I honestly I wish I could remember, and it seems like a thing that you would remember, that I would remember. I'm pretty sure that he had chopped up Soul's phone conversation before he came in, right? And so like when the beat was laid out, if at the most like he had his EPS and was like playing it there, but the chops were already made. You know what I mean? Like the I love Company Full. Like that part of might have been played, but like the actual sample chops of like extended parts of the conversation were already laid
Hmm.
out where they need to be left. Because at the time, and this is true for any song, not just something like this, but like L was recording at home with the VS 880, the Roland, and so it was like a little digital box, right? And he would record his rough versions there, and then would basically then redrop the beat, sometimes off of the VS 880. That way he didn't have to bring the whole EPS 16 into the studio. He would bring the VS 880, which was more like this size, and we would drop all the beat off of that onto the ADATs, and we he would just redo the vocals at Ozo. You know, like the vocal tracks would be on there, but obviously they wouldn't be as quality. So he would redo the vocals, and I think that's how this song worked too. The one thing I could say is that Len came in with his records ready to go, and he knew about the olive oil thing, you know,
Hmm.
and so the end of the song with the "He Needs Me" part, which is sort of one of the more memorable parts of the song. I mean, obviously that's all Len. Like Len is home doing his thing. You know, he was one of the best and still is one of the best sample choosers for a recording studio DJ. Like he's a live DJ, obviously, and that's, probably what he does more of now. But like he was one of the best studio DJs in terms of like just getting on tracks and doing cuts, in that selector style, the way like a DJ Scratch would or somebody like that. I mean, he knew the right cut for the right song all the time. And this one was one of those where I was just sitting there, I was like, wow, he fucking nailed it. And like what do I know about the Popeye soundtrack? What does anybody know about that? Who knows about that? Like who's
Right.
even watched that movie? Like it wasn't, you know what I mean? It was like the most disappointing movie to watch when you were a kid because you grew up with the Popeye cartoons, and then this fucking lame movie came out in like the early 80s. I don't know, maybe people like that movie. I didn't like the movie. But um but yeah, that's I guess that's Shelley Duvall singing it, unless they had somebody sing it and she lipped it in the movie. But it's Olive Oil singing about, I guess, Popeye or whatever the fuck. But it was hilarious the way it was done, and the way he cut it up, and the way that it fit. And I can say this because I don't sample snitch, but since this song isn't commercially available, and it's probably pretty common knowledge, that's a Bjork sample, um, for the actual main tone of the beat. Like the drums are the drums, like he played that off of his regular drum kits, Al did. But the sample was like a Bjork sample, and that was probably another reason why it was
Mm.
internet only, is because it was something sampled from something new.
That makes sense.
So there was a lot going on as to why it was released the way it was, right? L already probably had a rough draft vocal recorded from home so that he could, most likely that was done for the most part in order to know where to place the the phone call recordings, and let's just call those choruses, like where to place those choruses in, and and then so that way when we dropped it off of the VS 880, it was just lined up, and he just went
Right.
in, did his shit, um it's a done deal. So I mean, he was very. The only thing I could remember for sure is like he was just like, let's get to it. You know what I mean? Like it was very focused. It was very like it was probably one of the more focused times I saw him in the studio, where he really wanted to get done what he wanted to accomplish, which was making this record and dissing this dude.